The Kremlin, satisfied, says U.S. suspension of arms to Kiev brings end to war. Yeah, my understanding is that the Russian government is very, very happy about the U.S. Suspending arms shipments to Ukraine. And rightfully so. They've probably been waiting 6 months or however long it's been since Trump's been in office. They probably knew this was going to happen from the start. I guarantee you they knew this was going to happen from the start, and they've just been patiently waiting, twiddling their thumbs. When is Daddy going to cut off the ship? When is he going to cut off the arms shipments to Ukraine? When are they going to do it? That's what Putin's been doing. He's been sitting around waiting, twiddling his fingers, just waiting for the moment. Russia has welcomed the announcement by the United States that it will suspend the shipment of some weapons to Ukraine and sees it as a help to end the conflict sooner. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Meanwhile, Kiev seeks to clarify the situation with Washington after the halt in arms deliveries, just as Russia intensifies its airstrikes against Ukraine. This suspension of shipments to Kiev affects missiles and air defense projectiles, according to Politico and other U.S. media. Wait, during the presidency of Democrat Joe Biden, the United States provided over $60,000 million in military aid to Kiev. That is a very... it's a really funny way to write that. Over $60,000 million. That's funny. The decision, a harsh blow to Ukraine, is announced amid one of Russia's biggest offensives in over 3 years of war, aiming to maximize its territorial gains before seriously considering a complete ceasefire. Yeah, it's absolutely not a coincidence that the United States is announcing these arms shipment suspensions at the exact same time that Russia has been increasing its offensives and aiming to maximize its territorial gains before considering a complete ceasefire. That is not a coincidence whatsoever, like 100%. In fact, this makes me go beyond thinking like this is cynical, like, oh, they some elements of this administration are just, slightly more towards Russia's side than not. This makes me go full cynical and think, oh no, they really, Russia has some dirt on Trump and there's a reason why he's doing this, right? Because this is very like, this is, you're almost treating Russia like an ally by doing this sort of thing. Ceasefire negotiations between Kiev and Moscow remain at a standstill. Russia, which already controls about a fifth of Ukraine, continues to gradually advance, gaining ground in recent weeks in the southeastern regions of Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk. If Russia is attacking at full force in ways that they haven't in years, and maybe more than they have at any point at all, it seems like right now is when Ukraine is in most need of these weapon shipments. The interruption of shipments by the U.S. is due to the low level of its own reserves of some types of weapons and ammunition, according to U.S. media. We have no proof of that, though, and I don't trust the administration that they aren't lying. They consistently lie about almost everything. So when they say that it's because we're on low levels of our own reserves, I don't, and they provide no evidence and say, oh yeah, we're not going to provide any details on exactly which weapons we're low on or the percentages to what we're low on, or they're not going to provide any details at all. Makes me think they're lying. According to a statement from the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the deputy minister emphasized to Ginkel that it is critically important that the supply of previously approved military packages continue, especially those that strengthen air defenses. The Ukrainian side emphasized that any delay or interruption in military support to Ukraine's capabilities will only encourage the aggressor to continue war and terror and not seek peace. I 100% agree. Encourage the aggressor to continue war and terror and not seek peace. 100%. If you make this move that shows that like you are tangibly going to weaken one actor in this war, the other would be stupid to not take advantage of that. And so this is 100% like, it's almost like the exact opposite principle of like having a nuke, right? If you have a nuke, nobody's going to mess with you. Nobody wants to mess with you if you have a nuke because they're afraid of getting completely annihilated. The idea that if you gave them more defense capabilities, it would discourage Russia from continuing to fight them because they know that it would continue to be a stalemate, that all they would be doing would be throwing stuff against a wall, and that it wouldn't achieve anything. But now that they know that Ukraine is severely weakened as a result of this, of course they're going to come in and take advantage of that. And of course they're going to be less willing to seek peace. The Kremlin welcomed on Wednesday the news that the United States has halted some arms deliveries to Ukraine, saying that the fewer weapons sent to Kiev, the sooner the conflict will end. The Pentagon has halted some shipments of anti-aircraft missiles and other precision munitions to Ukraine amid concerns that U.S. reserves are too low, two people familiar with the matter told Reuters on Tuesday. Yeah, they can't keep repeating this, though. Why do these articles keep repeating this like that is the case, though? They should be questioning the legitimacy of this because they provided zero evidence or substantiation to this claim that the U.S. stockpiles of anything is running low, or that even if they were running low, it would be a problem. They should be adding a caveat saying here that they have no proof of this and no way to substantiate that claim. A senior Ukrainian lawmaker described Washington's decision as painful for Kiev's efforts to defend against Russian airstrikes, which have intensified in recent weeks. Nobody should be surprised by this whatsoever. It does not seem like a coincidence to me at all that at the exact same time they're doing this is when Russia has been upping their number of the number and scale of the attacks they're committing on Ukraine. It is a good deal for us. It is good value for us to provide support for them in the form of outdated, soon-to-expire military equipment. It is good PR, good future planning for us to support an ally like this. And it's also good economic war by allowing us to counter Russia without directly having to be involved in some sort of weird conflict with them. From almost every angle I can think of, us helping Ukraine in their fight against Russia seems like a good deal, a good decision, and a good thing to do. And not doing so would be untapped potential. That we are leaving, there is potential we are leaving on the table by pulling out and not giving them our full-throated support.